Welcome your faces back to another Sri Lankan adventure. And today we have actually hired out a tuk-tuk driver for the day, and he has driven us to our first little location of the day, and that is the Danula Golden Temple. And we set off this morning at about 5:30 because we wanted to get here for when it opened. And I think we are the first people here. We've just paid for the tickets and we're walking up a load of stairs in what feels like the blistering heat. Already, it's only 7 o'clock. Yeah, let's go and find out if we are the first people at this cave temple. I would say that we are the first tourists here in Danula. There's obviously a load of locals here visiting the temples, but I'd say we're the first tourists. It pays to get up early and get to these places for when it opens. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that we like to do a little bit of history. And here at Danula is the largest and best preserved cave temple complex in all of Sri Lanka, with over 150 Buddha statues in various caves and temples, backdating to the 1st century. However, there has been skeletal remains and burials in the caves which backdate to 2,700 years before the arrival of Buddhism. And over there is the head of a gold Buddha statue, which we are going to go down to now and check it out. So let's head down the hill. There is a load of monkeys over here. If you missed the first episode, then this is my first time outside of Europe. So this is all a very new experience for me. So seeing monkeys out in the wild is quite exciting. It sounds so silly. They're just monkeys, but I've never seen them, apart from zoos, obviously. But yeah, pretty cool. We have some beautiful views bestowed upon us in the distance. What an amazing day already. You know, Ciaran travel style. If you've been around for a while and you've seen a few of my videos, you know that when we go to a different place, a new adventure, and we go to a nice landmark that we want to take some good photos of, but we can't because that landmark is under restoration and there's scaffolding in the way. We come all the way to Sri Lanka to see this beautiful golden temple, and this is no exception. There is scaffolding on the Buddha. Why? Everywhere we go, there is just scaffolding. Okay, that is Danula done. The first location of the day ticked off the list. We're now going to find our Uber driver, our tuk-tuk driver, and then make way to the next location of the day. Let's do this. All right, we have just come to our next little location. Where are we?
Polinaarua Cave Temple.
Polinaarua. Yeah. It's a cave formation, no, rock formation, not far from the Sigria Fortress Rock. We wanted to go to Sigria, however, that was like $30 per person, and it's obviously a lot more popular. So we've come to Polinaarua. Trying to pronounce these things is so hard. One, it only costs 1,000 rupees each, and two, it's not as touristy. There's obviously still tourists here, and you get a great view of Sigria Rock. I hate remembering all these things. Apparently it offers a really good view of Sigria Rock as well. So we're going to take, hello doggy. We're going to take, apparently it takes 30 minutes to get up there. So thankfully this part is in the shade. We're going to get up there and we're going to see what views have to offer. You ready?
Yes, let's go.
Let's do this. Ah! Good start. Also guys, if someone tells you not to have any food out near monkeys, don't have food out near monkeys. We were just topping up on sun cream. We thought we're gonna have a little bit of watermelon. And there were 3 monkeys, probably about 100 meters away. They saw that and they seized the day. They come bounding over and they wanted some watermelon. And they started going through Liv's bag. Me, being the absolute gentleman I am, I ran away. I left that to deal with you. You deal with the monkeys. You're welcome. Anyway, let's head up towards Polinaarua Rock. So one thing I didn't really expect when coming to Sri Lanka is the amount of diversity there is here. You've got jungles, you've got beaches, you've got mountains, you've got mangroves. There's just so much here, and I don't know why, I just didn't expect there to be that much of a diverse ecosystem, if that's the right phrase for it. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning. And hopefully, we are going to be exploring quite a lot of it. So if you haven't already, and you are enjoying this little Sri Lankan adventure, hit that subscribe button, because there's going to be so many more videos coming out of all the places we're going to go to. I'm not going to tell you what we're doing, because you'll have to subscribe and find out from my future videos coming out of Sri Lanka. But yeah, I just didn't expect it. It's a very nice surprise, and it's very beautiful from what we've seen so far, and I'm only 3 days in, I think. Yeah, 3 days in. What's also impressive is how these little sticks are holding up this giant boulder. That's some strong ass sticks. All right, we made it to the top of this rock formation, and over there is Sigria Rock with some beautiful mountains behind it. This is actually a really, really nice photo spot as well, so I'm going to get the camera out in a minute and take some photos, and I can see loads of people climbing, trying to get on top of the rock. So I think we made a good decision to come here, and also just look at that view. I'd rather be here looking at that rock than being on that rock. Absolutely beautiful. Gonna get the camera out and take a few snaps. If you haven't already, my Instagram will be down in the bio. Go check it out. I'm posting all the photos from all my trips. Feel free to check them out. How beautiful is this?
It's so nice. I'm getting some food.
Yeah, there's no monkeys up here, so we should be safe with food. So we have stopped off at this very authentic Sri Lankan cuisine, and it's like a buffet, all you can eat kind of thing, where they've got loads of different authentic Sri Lankan dishes, and we've already eaten and it's absolutely phenomenal, and you've got an absolute beautiful view to enjoy your food. This was such an amazing find. I'm gonna go have a look around and show you what we just had. It was absolutely incredible. Check out the landscape of the place. So inside all these pots you have loads of different curries, different rices, and over here is the spicy section where all the spicy curries and food is. What a incredible little place for some food. What a real authentic Sri Lankan experience. That was really good. That was a really good experience. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
We literally had a little bit of everything. It was literally a big Sri Lankan buffet. We didn't really know what to have, so we just had a bit of everything and tried everything, and it was really good.
I really liked it.
Yeah, it was really good. What a cool little find. Well done.
I know. And the pancakes at the end.
Yes, they made some Sri Lankan pancakes for dessert, and it was really nice, really sweet as well. But yeah, we are headed to the last location of the day, and that is the ancient city of Polinaarua. I'm looking forward to this place. So here we are, the ancient city of Polinaarua. Polinaarua originated from the 4th century, so many years ago, and then in the 11th century it became the ancient capital city of Sri Lanka. Now I could talk to you all day about the history of this magnificent, fascinating site, but we will be here for an eternity. There is just heaps and heaps of history around these areas, and the whole Polinaarua kingdom, this whole site, I believe someone said earlier that it spans 500 hectares, which is an awful lot of ground. And unfortunately, we don't have time to cover all of that ground today, but we will still see some of the fascinating ruins that once were part of a great civilization. These ruins are blooming impressive. And you're not allowed to take photos with your back towards these statues. I don't know if that's the same principle as recording, but my back's not to them, so we're going to try and keep it that way. That includes walking backwards. But yeah, these ruins are hella impressive. So much history behind them as well. And we've got Liv cooling down with a fan. We are really struggling with this heat at the moment. Yeah, it's horrible, but this place is insane. All right, so the last little location of this ancient city trip is a rock monastery called the Gal Vihara. And the Gal Vihara translates to rock monastery. And here we have a single carving of 3 different statues in this rock face. And it was completed in the 12th century by King, I'm going to pronounce this so wrong, I'm sorry, Parakrama Bahu I. And it honestly baffles me that centuries ago, anywhere you go, they'd be able to create these magnificent, beautiful sculptures and statues with such incredible detail in them. And it makes you wonder if we can recreate that today with the technology that we have in today's society. So yeah, what a great day it has been. I think the plan is we have a 3-hour drive back to Kandy, and then we'll see what happens for the rest of the day. All right, so we just got to Kandy train station because we're getting the train to Ella, which apparently is the most scenic train in all of Sri Lanka. And this is the most amount of tourists we've seen on this trip so far. But the train should take about 5-6 hours if it doesn't break down. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. What about you?
I am, but I am scared.
Why?
With this many tourists around.
Yeah, we go away.
It's hard to take any nice photos.
Yeah.
But we'll have the view.
We will see. We will see how it goes. I think the train's just pulling up any minute now, so it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we can get some nice photos, but everyone else has got the same idea, so... Anyway, let's go to our next destination, which is Ella.
James, wait, I think it's the other 2025.
Is that it? Alright, so the train was 20 minutes late, but we are finally on the way. And there is not a Sri Lankan in sight. It is literally just tourists on this train. It is a giant tourist fest. But yeah, Here we go. The most scenic train ride in all of Sri Lanka. Let's see if it lives up to the reputation that social media gives it. What do you reckon? So, after 7 hours on the most scenic train journey in all of Sri Lanka, we have made it to Ella, and we're going to quickly talk about our whole experience of the train journey, just in case you're going to plan to do the same journey. Starting off with buying the tickets. Now, we had quite a stressful time trying to obtain these tickets because they release the tickets for this train journey 30 days in advance, and they sell like absolute hotcakes, like literally within a day, I think, for Sri Lankan prices, because the tour companies and other people buy them in bulk and sell them in...
For a profit.
Basically, yeah.
So we've seen the tickets range from about £20 to 90.
Yeah, the most expensive ones we come across were £90. But if you bought them directly from the Sri Lankan train companies, you'd be paying about £2-3. Also, it's worth mentioning that the type of train ticket you want is either a second class or third class reserved seats, because that in them classes you can open up the doors, open up the windows, and get some incredible photos such as these ones. If you get first class, the windows are fixed, you cannot open them, and the carriages are sealed because they have aircon in them. So you still get some pretty amazing views, but you won't get that social media photo that everyone gets where you hang outside the door or hang outside the window and things like that.
And you don't need AC in the second class carriages at all. You get the wind from the outside, so it's not a necessity.
Yes. Thankfully, Ella is a lot cooler than Kandy and Colombo, but you do get a nice breeze as well, which is very nice. Regarding the train journey, the majority of the journey, I'd say the first 4 or 5 hours
Probably.
of the journey, majority of the good views were on the right-hand side as if you're going towards Ella, and then the last sort of like 2-3 hours predominantly on the left, but it's left and right. So unfortunately, you don't get a choice in where you sit. Thankfully, we was on the left-hand side, even though the first part of the journey, the views were on the right-hand side. I found the views to be better at the end of the journey.
Definitely, the views do get better as the journey goes on, and the further you're closer to Ella, the better they are. So I think we've got some good views.
It was such an amazing experience. Like I said, it was 7 hours, but I didn't feel like it was 7 hours at all.
I was surprised that it was 7 hours at the end. It time flew by.
Yeah, it absolutely flew by. And we were quite prepared. We bought snacks for the journey, but if you forget snacks, don't worry, because there's plenty of train workers on the carriages that sell snacks, sell food. Well, that is snacks.
Snacks, water.
Snacks, water, and
Other
if you
drinks
want,
as well.
beer as well. So
Peanuts.
if you peanuts,
Peanuts.
samosas, everything. So if you do forget food, don't worry, there's plenty of food and drink on board to buy. But yeah, we got quite fortunate, as I said, going back to the tickets. We managed to get the tickets for, were they £20 each?
30.
£30 each.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't the most expensive, but you can get them a lot cheaper. And also, we booked it through a tour company and they didn't issue the ticket until 5 days prior to travel. So we had no idea if we was getting second class reserved or third class reserved. A bit of a gamble, but thankfully we got second class reserved seats. If you do go for unreserved, you will be in a standing carriage, and if you've got luggage like suitcases or like us with big backpacks, I wouldn't really fancy doing that journey, carrying them or having them by your feet for the whole 7 hours.
Yeah, it's about whether you get lucky with the unreserved seats. So there are seats in those carriages, but if there's a lot of people, you just won't get a seat. And we didn't want to risk that. We wanted to have guaranteed
get reserved seats, yeah. And the good thing about the reserved seat carriages as well is there's no one standing in the carriages. It's literally just the people that buy the reserved seats. So there's plenty of space. It can get, you just have to be patient with the pictures because everyone wants to go out and do the pictures. So you queue up, but there's like, people are respectful. They took their pictures and then they moved on, and then we took our pictures and moved on. Then we went to sit down. It does get quiet at times, so you can just go up whenever you want, basically.
It's a 7-hour journey. You will have the time to take pictures.
Plenty of time to take pictures. But yeah, I hope that's helpful if you do plan that journey. I do highly recommend it. 7 hours does sound a long time, but in my eyes, it was 100% worth it. And like we said, it didn't feel like 7 hours at all. So yeah, let me know if you plan on doing that journey if you're ever in Sri Lanka. And going to end it here because, as I said, we are in Ella now, but I'm going to leave that for the next video. So if you did enjoy this next installation of the Sri Lankan adventures, please feel free to subscribe and like this video. And we will see you when we're exploring Ella. We've got some very exciting things planned whilst we're here. We're in Ella for the next 5 days. So we've got lots and lots of things planned. And hopefully we'll see you there. Peace out. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.